Hi everyone and welcome to DisplayRepair.com. In this video we'll be talking about one of the most common mishaps among drivers, and that is running out of gas, also known as petrol. We'll show you what you can do to get out of trouble as soon as possible. So stay tuned. DisplayRepair.com. Be sure to visit us at our website DisplayRepair.com, where you can find more useful car and driving tips. So, what happens when you run out of gas? The usual scenario for running out of gas is this. First, well before the engine cuts out, the warning light for low fuel comes up on the dash. From this point onwards, you have, on average, 80 kilometers or about 50 miles of driving left. Please don't take this data for granted. For every car it's different. If you continue driving longer than this, what will happen is that the engine will eventually start sputtering and will cut out. All the lights on the dash will come up and the drive is over. Perhaps the most important tip when talking about what to do when you run out of gas: don't panic and stay in control. To be honest, there's no place for panicking. If you previously paid attention to the warning light on the dash, you know what lays ahead of you and what will happen. Even if for some reason you don't know, like if the fuel gauge doesn't work for instance, the moment you hear the engine sputtering and cutting out, keep the car under control. Don't be all over the road, and above all, stay calm as much as possible. Your safety depends on it. After this, do the next tip. Pull over to a safe place as soon as possible. The moment you notice that the engine is stopping, turn on the hazard lights and look for a safe place to pull over. Do so as soon as possible, because when the engine cuts out, you only have a couple of dozen of meters of inertia before you have to push the car to safety. If you want to see how to push the car on your own, if you find yourself in such a situation, click on the link in the corner of the video and watch our video dedicated specifically to that topic. Once you stop the car, make yourself visible on the road as much as possible. This goes double if you didn't manage to pull over to a parking lot or some other safe place away from traffic. On stop lanes on the highway or other roads, you must make yourself very visible, especially during nighttime. So, once you stop the car, best do the whole drill, turn on the hazard lights, use the emergency triangle, and if you're going to be outside of the car for a longer period of time especially, wear a fluorescent safety vest. Especially do all of this if you conclude that the car will be stranded for a longer period of time. This tip is a no-brainer, so of course the first thing you'll do is call for help. If you're near, you can call a friend, a family member, your spouse or else, or if you've driven far away, you can call road assistance. This is why it's very important to have a fully charged phone at all times when driving. Now, this tip is when you run out of gas in a remote place with no phone signal, no assistance, and no one can come to the rescue, or there is some other more serious situation. These situations are rare, to be honest, but we'll mention them anyway, as it might come in handy. The best option that you have in this case is to hitchhike yourself a ride. Stand by the side of the road, put that thumb up, and wait for help. Eventually someone will stop, they always do. Ask kindly for a lift to the first gas station, get some gas, and get back as soon as possible. You'll probably have to repeat the hitchhiking again, unless someone is good enough to drive you back, which is really rare. When you get to the gas station, be sure to buy a gas can that can hold at least 5 liters or about 1.5 gallons of gas. 10 liters would be even better if you can carry it back. Make sure there is enough gas to get you to the first gas station. And for the last tip, presuming you have found gas one way or the other, pour it into the gas tank, of course. If you want to see how to pour gas from a gas can without any problems, you can watch our video dedicated specifically to this topic by clicking the link in the corner of the video or in the description. Now the more important thing. Once the gas is poured, try starting the engine. Since the fuel system is completely dried out and probably filled with air, the engine won't start immediately in most cases. To avoid depleting the battery, through heavy cranking and getting into even more trouble, try turning the ignition on and off a couple of times so the fuel pump can fill the fuel system with gas. Again, more importantly, avoid long and heavy cranking. So instead of this, do short bursts of cranking. If everything is okay, the car should start. Once the engine is running, you're out of trouble and good to go. For the end, the best tip of all of these is don't get yourself in this situation in the first place. This is definitely one car problem that is easy to avoid, but one that can get you in a lot of trouble when it happens. Even if you're in a situation where the fuel gauge doesn't work or there is some other malfunction, at least be aware of this, make more frequent stops, and fill the gas tank up. Another solution, if you have problems like these, is to safely keep some spare fuel in the trunk. You can also do this if you're going on a longer trip to be extra safe. But if everything is okay and the fuel gauge works properly, all you have to do is pay attention to it from time to time and you'll never run out of gas and get into trouble. So that's it for this time. We hope the video helps. Please like and subscribe. It's a huge help for what we're doing. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.